Cheers, everyone. Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. Want to talk about the passing of Gonzalo Lira, a YouTuber that was living in Ukraine who was arrested, and he recently died in a Ukrainian prison, apparently from pneumonia. Now, the response to his passing has been mixed, and there's been a lot of really nasty people out there who think that he deserved what he got, that because he was a person who did not support the Ukrainian government and sort of understands the Russian perspective, that he was essentially a piece of garbage and bad things happen to the bad people. And I really find that position objectionable, because we're going down this road where if you don't like someone because of their personality quirks or their politics, that you essentially throw him to the wolves and you don't care what happened to him. But just to give some more background on this guy, he is an American citizen, born in the U.S., an expat, and he was living in Kharkiv, Ukraine, had a couple of kids, and he was making videos that were very, very critical of the Ukrainian government. Before he was doing videos about Ukraine, he was Coach Red Pill. He's one of these Red Pill guys, and that has gotten him accusations of misogyny. And I'm not going to defend that. If he wanted to do those sort of things and talk about that issue and be Mr. Red Pill, I don't particularly care. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. But again, you are free to do whatever you want to do. And just because you do that doesn't, again, mean that you are lesser of a human being who is deserving of death. So he got arrested in Ukraine by the Ukrainian government. He was released. And then he tried to leave the country again. And on his way out, when he was trying to flee, he recorded this video predicting that if he were arrested again, that he would die. Check this video out here.
I will definitely be sent to a prison labor camp where I will most certainly die. And my intention is to cross the border, get to Hungary, and in Hungary I'm going to ask for political asylum. So either I will cross the border into Hungary in the next couple of hours, or I will be arrested again, and God knows what will happen to me. I will definitely be...
So he predicted it. He would be arrested, or if he was arrested, that he would die in a Ukrainian prison. Now, one thing that people point out, and it's fair, is that what were you doing in Ukraine criticizing the government? What did you expect? And I'm on that bandwagon. He certainly was stupid for what he did. He frankly was a jackass. He was really putting himself in a bad position. But where I come from is not focusing so much on him himself. What worries me more, and this is my concern, and this should be the concern of every American, is what did the U.S. government do to try to help him? Because the job of our government is to protect and advocate for its citizens, irrespective if they're dumb jackasses who do stupid things. For example, we had Otto Warmbier. He went to North Korea, a place I'm not going to go. Why? Well, it's obvious. It's a despotic country. And he stole a banner, got arrested, and he was tortured savagely. And finally, when he was returned to the United States, because we were advocating for his return, as we should have, he was essentially a vegetable on life support, and he died shortly thereafter. What he did was stupid. Yeah. But it was the job of our government to advocate for him. Then we have Brittany Griner, another person, a person I don't particularly like that much. She's very entitled, spoiled, and has taken pretty negative positions against the United States for our culture and how minorities are being treated. Politically, she's very left, and I find her to be obnoxious. That being said, I don't think she should have been held in a Russian jail for as long as she was, or given a sentence of 14 years. Clearly, Russia's motivations here were political. And she did something stupid, something idiotic, which was having a vape on her with marijuana in it, in a country that has very tight laws on that, in a country that is politically having problems with their own. She should have been very, very careful, and she was not, and she paid by being jailed in Russia for a long time until the United States got her out, which is what we should have done. Now, to get her out, we returned to Russia Victor Bout, and that pissed off a lot of people. I personally didn't care. I actually think the arrest of Victor Bout, irrespective of how you feel about him as a person, was kind of suspect. We extradited him to the United States to charge him with crimes when he was never doing anything within the United States. He was, I think, arrested in Thailand. So why we brought him here, or thought we had the authority to bring him here and charge him, with violating U.S. laws when he wasn't operating in the United States, I think is suspect, and some people thought that his conviction should have been overturned. But anyway, we traded Victor Bout for Brittany Griner. He went back to Russia, where he's not going to bother anybody, and we got back Brittany Griner, our U.S. citizen. So our government did its job and advocated for their citizen. And right now in Russia, we have Evan Gershkovich. He's being accused by Russia of being a spy. We say he's a journalist. I don't know which one it is. But again, U.S. citizen, our job to advocate for his return. That is the job of the U.S. State Department. And so what's so frustrating about this issue with Lira is that in the other cases, we didn't have a lot of leverage. In North Korea, we have zero leverage. Russia, very little leverage, which is why we sent them Victor Bout to get her back. And that's also why Evan Gershkovich is still in Russia right now. But with Lira, we have or had all the leverage in the world. We are funding their entire government. One phone call from the State Department, he's released. That's all it took, or would have taken. But we didn't do it because the people in the State Department do not like Gonzalo Lira and his politics and what he has said. They view him as a Russian propagandist, which means he is not worthy of our help. And I have a problem with that. In fact, the State Department has been very evasive when questioned about Lira. And here's a video from of the Gray Zone reporter questioning the State Department. And here's what they said.
Clear in the past that you'd be willing to engage with them on such matters. Yeah.
Cosgrove with the Gray Zone. So back in May, I asked you about Gonzalo Lira. He was the U.S. citizen arrested in Ukraine for posting dissident content online, and you told me the State Department was aware of his arrest in May. And we learned last night through a series of tweets by him that he had been tortured in the Ukrainian prison, and he was now on a motorcycle with a broken rib trying to flee to the Hungarian border. And so I'm wondering, if this is true, given the State Department knew of his arrest and his detention, how has this been allowed to occur? We have a U.S. citizen being detained and perhaps tortured in the prison of one of our strongest allies.
Well, you lost me with the perhaps, and if this is true, I think I'd want to verify those reports before I commented on it. Alex, go ahead.
Is the State Department investigating?
I just want to verify anything before I comment. Go ahead, Alex.
And of course, there was no real follow-up. The State Department did nothing, except recently confirmed that Gonzalo Lira was dead. So, biggest thing here is not to defend Lira's character or who he was. The biggest thing here, and the thing that really frustrates me and annoys me, is that a lot of people are okay with the U.S. government not advocating for their citizens. And what's the point of having a State Department and a government if they will pick and choose when they want to help somebody based off of their politics and based off whether or not we like them personally? Every U.S. citizen should be advocated for by our government even if we do not like them for their politics. Now, if they're a murderer, you go over to a foreign country and you're a psychopath and you're killing people and you get arrested for murder, that's a different story. But being arrested for a vape pen, or for saying things about the Ukrainian government, or for stealing a sign, you should not be jailed indefinitely, tortured, and killed like Otto was, like Lira was. Griner got lucky. We had somebody that they wanted, Victor Bout, so the Russians traded. But again, this should not happen, and no American, if you claim to love this country and stand for what this country stands for, should be okay with any other country treating our citizens the way that these other people have been treated. And our government should 100% work to get them back, even if they're jackasses. And Gonzalo Lira was a jackass, but he did not deserve to die the way he died. And our government could have helped him, but they chose not to. So very sad, and a lesson for the rest of us. If you're going to go overseas and you're not somebody who our government likes, well, if you get arrested for something, you might be on your own, because you cannot be sure that your government, your State Department, will be there to advocate for you. And that is very, very sad. That is it for now. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.